Hey guys, it's me again, and this video is about how to find accommodation in Italy because I've been having a lot of people coming to my DMs asking me how do I find accommodation in Italy. I got admission, but I don't have a knee, and yeah. So this video is about basically some tips about how you can get accommodation in Italy and how accommodation in Italy works. So I'm gonna just stick to my experience here because Italy is a big country and the experience in Naples where I live might be different from the experience in Rome or Milan or Turin or Sicily. It might be different. So but there are some common things, and the common thing is that accommodation in Italy is hectic to find. It is not impossible, but it is difficult to find an accommodation that you yourself require. So basically, I'm going to be touching on that. So let's get right into it. So how does accommodation work in Italy? So basically, like in some other countries, you have like universities that have like hostels on campus. You can stay on campus and yada yada yada. Most universities here, as far as I know, they don't have that. Okay, they don't have that. And I'm talking to students who maybe are coming here for a regional scholarship, the Mayecha scholarship, or self-sponsored students that don't have those hostel discounts for the ADISOC and all that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. So what I'm basically talking about is that you have to find accommodation outside. Outside means that you have to, look for apartments, and these apartments, I might say, they're shared. You have to share the apartment with, if you have some friends, if you have some classmates, or basically people that you've never met in your life. Okay, so it's similar to probably other countries, and but I just think the situation here is kind of unique because it's really hectic, and I have a lot of people coming and asking me. I really understand because I've been in those shoes before. I was delusional, like very delusional. I knew that accommodation in Italy was hard to find, but I had this delusional optimism that in 1 week I'm gonna find accommodation. It ended up working for me by luck, sheer luck, but luck and chances don't come to all. I mean, I might be lucky, the other person might not be as lucky as me. So the best advice is to start looking for accommodation, right now, especially if you're coming in September. And some of the things that you need to consider when looking for accommodation is, first of all, the location where you're going to be staying, the area where you're going to be staying, what area you're going to be staying. Do you want to stay near your campus? Do you want to stay very far away from your campus? What is your budget? Where I live in Naples, the accommodation can range from anywhere from 250 to 500 and even above that. So what is it that you want? Is it comfort? Is it convenience? Like, you have to know what you want. And also you have to consider whether you want the accommodation that has a contract or not. If you're an international student, it's very important that you have an accommodation that comes with a contract because you are gonna need that for your residence permit. Okay, and also you need to consider whether do you want to share a room with a roommate. If you're coming maybe with your friend or somebody that you know, or you are open to knowing somebody, do you need a roommate, or do you want a single room? And if you want a single room, do you want a single room that comes with a bathroom? Or if you want a room, do you want a studio where you have everything on your own? Like, you need to know the type of accommodation that you want so that it's easier for you to like look for it. Okay, once you know what you want, then now you can talk about how to look for it, how to look for it. So I'm gonna be giving some tips, and the first tip that I'm gonna give is if you want to look for if you want to start looking for accommodation in Italy, if you're say coming in September. Okay, the first thing you have to do is contact the welcome desk. Okay, that's the first tip. It is not like these tips are like separate and you can only use one and then find a house. Like, you have to use them holistically. You have to try all the methods as much as you can, combine everything and just see whatever sticks. Okay, so the first tip is contact the welcome desk. Like, here where I live in Naples, I am at the University of Naples, Federico. We have an international welcome desk. Other universities may have like an international office, international association, and yada yada yada. Reach out to them maybe via the website and ask them if they have like, if they offer accommodation, places to students, and how can you apply for them. You tell them when you're coming, you tell them your budget, you tell them what you want, you tell them. Okay, if you know the address of your university or the areas, or maybe you've talked to a friend or talked to people already studying at the university about like maybe the areas in the city that are more convenient for students, you write to the welcome desk, because the good part about the welcome desk is that they have these cheaper accommodation places for students. And if you're coming in September, right now, like it's July, and most students have graduated. That means like most houses may be empty, and there may be more spaces for people coming in September. I came in November, and I really had a hard time looking for accommodation. So the earlier you come, sometimes the better it is to find accommodation. So reach out to the welcome desk and ask them if they can help you to find accommodation, because those guys actually have like discounted prices. And because some landlords really be crazy, they be putting prices however they want. So, but like welcome desk is like an official thing, and they can have good prices for the accommodation. The second tip, which is again I think is even very important to do, is connections. Have connections. When they say in life, have connections, even when it comes to accommodation, have connections. Start making connections while you're at home. Join the Facebook groups for your university. Like most universities have like this Facebook groups where like international students that are looking for accommodation, international students that are leaving, advertising for accommodation. So like at Federico, there are like Facebook groups where even the international welcome desk posts the places where like they're empty, or like they're looking for tenants and things like that. So most people post there, and it could also be an opportunity for you to connect with other students that are going to that university. If maybe you need a roommate, or maybe you need like someone to share a room with in the meantime, if you're looking for a shared room, it's easier to connect with people through this Facebook group. So join those Facebook groups, connect with people at your university, connect with international students that are living in that city. It is really helpful. For me personally, I found my accommodation through Facebook. There's this, my current housemate just advertised the house to say, oh, this, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go and look at it, and I ended up taking it. So connect with people in the that are already in Italy. It's really important, because those guys know the people who are already living their accommodation, even if you want to like secure a place while you're still at home, because there are people who do that. They may be at home, but then they find this super cheap place and they start paying for it while they're at home. And if they're coming in September, maybe probably you're going to be paying for just like August and July, or maybe August, and then in September you move into the place because you're coming here, you already have a place. So it's really important to connect with people here. This really helpful. It has really been helpful for a lot of people to make connections well in advance before coming here. It really, really helps. The third tip is using this accommodation apps like Idealista, Immobiliare. Like these apps are good, but you have to be careful, because there are a lot of people who like think they can be scammed of their money and yada yada yada. So I'm gonna just maybe put the links of their applications for accommodation, the Idealista, the Immobiliare, and you can look for accommodation places there. And then last but not the least, I just wanted to talk about the CX. The CX is like hostel. It's like a hostel that is like where you can pay. It's really good. I had an opportunity to stay at the CX when I was in Venice, and I just got to find out it's a really cool student hostel. So you can just check out the CX place at their website. They usually have accommodation places, and I think they're in Venice, they're in Milan, they're in Turin, and they're recently opened in Naples. If you want a shared accommodation, if it's within your price range, you can maybe look through like those accommodation like private hostels and things like that if you want that option. But all in all, what I can say is start contacting the people that are already in Italy. They know the people who are leaving the houses. They can be best to help you. If you know like maybe people from your country that are already here, that are already studying in that area, it could really be helpful to start looking. But there isn't like one option to find accommodation. And even maybe if you come here, like have a plan. Maybe I'm gonna stay in a hostel, like a B&B for a month while I look for accommodation, like, or maybe I'm gonna be staying with a friend, or like have a plan before coming here, because you're gonna be stranded. You're gonna be stranded. Have a budget. So just join the Facebook groups, join the WhatsApp groups, connect with people, contact the welcome desk. It's really, really helpful. There isn't really one way, and I wish you all the best in the search for accommodation.